food companies all came and met with me 2 weeks ago. They said, well, tell us what you want. We're going to do it. And they said, but stop these governors from passing these laws, because we don't want a patchwork where West Virginia and California are banning food dyes, and we have to make special products for those states. The message that I want to give to the country today and to all the other governors is get in line behind Governor Morrissey and apply for a waiver to my agency, and we're going to give it to you.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is making waves with his bold moves to ban artificial food dyes and overhaul what's called the GRAS standards. That's generally recognized as safe standards. In just a short time, Bobby Kennedy is already taking on the industries that have taken advantage of us for so long. Artificial food dyes are in so much of the food we eat today, and they've been credibly linked to many serious issues we face in our nation, like obesity and behavioral problems in children and potential cancer risks. But the key here is that GRAS has been used as a loophole that's allowed food companies to add new ingredients to their foods, but without FDA review. Well, Bobby Kennedy has been vocal about this for years, but now as HHS secretary, he's got the power to do something about it. So on April 22nd, he announced plans to phase out 8 petroleum-based synthetic dyes from U.S. food supply by the end of 2026 that have been linked to many health concerns. And he's not stopping there. He's targeting the GRAS system as a whole, calling it the biggest villain because it lets companies sneak in untested chemicals. Earlier this year, the FDA banned red dye number 3 after decades of evidence linking it to cancer in animals. That was a big win, but RFK Jr. is taking it to the next level. He's pushing for a ban on 8 dyes, including red number 40, yellow number 5, and blue number 1, which are in everything from snacks to drinks. And he's not just talking, he's getting results, even transcending politics in the process. Blue states like California and red states like West Virginia are already passing laws to ban these dyes. And Bobby's cheering them on while working to make this a nationwide standard. He's also in the process of proving natural dyes made from beets and turmeric and spirulina. Companies in Europe already use them, and they're just as vibrant, and they don't come with the health risks. Now, last month, Kennedy met with CEOs from companies like General Mills, Kraft Heinz, Kellogg's, and he called on them quite explicitly to remove these dyes, or he would make it happen. And they're listening. Companies like McCormick are already reformulating products to ditch artificial dyes. So as you can see, the MAHA movement is precisely the kind of influence that gets results. But it's not just about dyes. Bobby Kennedy's push to reform GRAS is itself the real game changer. Right now, food companies can decide for themselves if an ingredient is safe and then start using it without FDA approval. So that's how we end up with thousands of chemicals in our food that haven't been properly vetted or studied. Every day, millions unknowingly consume these toxic substances, jeopardizing their health, while the leaders who should be protecting us, they've just been sitting idly by, and I think we know why. The food industry has been negligent, and it's time for accountability and transparency. So who's been behind this insidious health menace? Well, bottom line, it's our political establishment, which has protected big food companies. These corporate giants, hand in hand with our complacent leaders, have been profiting off of our ignorance while neglecting the serious health risks that they pose. Their silence on the consequences of these additives reveals their true priorities: profit over public health. And we are paying the price in deteriorating well-being. And as a result of this negligence, our children are suffering from rising allergies, behavioral issues, severe health problems, all connected to what they eat. Well, those days are now officially over. Here today to talk about this is Kim Bright, a critical voice in this conversation. Kim has spent years advocating for healthier food choices and is here to shed light on what you can do to protect your health as these harmful additives are being phased out. Stick around because her insights have empowered countless individuals to reclaim their health, and she's going to show you how now it's your turn. Kim, welcome. Welcome back. Great to see you as always.
Great to see you, Dr. Turley. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's an honor to have you as always. So, obviously, we're seeing a lot of buzz about Bobby Kennedy's push to ban artificial food dyes and take on this whole grass system. That's what seems to be so amazing about MAGA and MAHA. They're taking on the system itself. So, you've been a leading health voice for 45 years. So, from your perspective, I mean, what's really going on here? What's driving this bold move, and why is it making waves right now?
Well, I think that people are tired of the outcomes that we've had over the past 60, 75 years. They're increasing, chronic disease rates, everything. It's just a downward spiral. I think they've had it. I think that, the moms are seeing more children being sick, autism rates, everything is going up, up, up. Everybody's sick. They can't figure out why. I mean, the people that were in power for all these years and that were making the money for big pharma, big ag, big corporations that dealt with our food supply, they had a different agenda and a different intent than the people that we now have there. Their intention, which is so important, is to make people healthy, not keep them sick, not keep them in that, not the healthcare system, but they were the sick care system. They wanted us to remain sick. There's lots of money in keeping people sick. Whereas if you teach them, like I did, how to get healthy naturally, they don't need the surgeries. They don't need the drugs. So this new wonderful group of people that we're under with President Trump actually has the same agenda, and the same outcomes will occur, being healthier people, not the opposites. And, the whole thing here too is they've not only inundated the food supply, they inundated our soils, our air, our water. And we've got to clean all that up because that is definitely affecting people and keeping them sick. And I find it very ironic because back when I first started helping people in the late 70s, I would have people come to me and say, my doctor said, don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. What you eat or drink or anything doesn't have anything to do with this illness. And I would say, are you kidding me? It's like, who do you believe, me or that person? And if you believe that person, see you later.
Right.
So it's all about the money, the bottom line. Now it's not about the money and the bottom line. It's actually getting people well, keeping them well, being transparent, and actually looking at what has caused the decline in our health. And what's driving us, President Trump.
And you're just explaining it so well in terms of how MAGA and MAHA fit like a glove, right? Because we can't make America great again if we're all sick. It's just not going to happen. America has to become healthy again if it's ever going to become great again. And finally, we're taking this seriously. You've been sounding the alarm for years about this. You've had long concerns for our health and our food sources. You talk particularly about aflatoxins. Do I say that right?
Aflatoxins.
Aflatoxins.
Close.
Yeah, not bad, right? Not
bad. Yeah, those things most people haven't heard of them. Yeah. And they are some of the most carcinogenic, toxic, mutagenic, teratogenic, and immunotoxic products. And they're products of fungus, mold, called aspergillus. Now, the most potent compound in aspergillus is aflatoxin B1. This stuff, let me just go over those words I just used for people. Carcinogenic produces cancer. Toxic means that it contains or is poisonous. Mutagenic means it's a physical or chemical substance that's going to induce genetic mutation. We're talking about mutating of the DNA with a permanent change in your genes, and it interferes with your nucleic acids. teratogenic causes fetal abnormalities. All right. We're talking birth defects. We're talking disorders in children that happen in the womb. All right. And immunotoxic is toxic to the immune system. And 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So that's where all health starts. And that's where, that's something that we've got to pay attention to. But this is not what you want to have on your plate every day. This is not what you want to feed your children, the aflatoxin, B1 especially. Okay, people might want to look at, autism rates and obesity and all these things, diabetics, all these things might want to look at, wow, maybe I've been eating aflatoxins. Maybe I've been ingesting these things. And where the whole thing is, where are they found? They're found in our grain crops, especially corn, peanuts, tree nuts. We're talking walnuts, pecans, anything that grows on a tree, dried fruits, meats, oil seeds. And the problem is that even spices have them. The problem is that they're harvested at the wrong time. They're harvested when there's too much moisture still in the plant. So that's one thing. Then when they store them with too much moisture in dark silos or places, guess what loves dark, wet? Mold.
Mold, yeah.
And so we've got this growing on our food supply, and then now it renders it unsuitable. And it's not just human food supply, it's our animal food supply, because they eat grains.
Right.
We're all ingesting this, and it's a whole chain, Dr. Turley. It starts with those foods, then goes into the feed for the cattle, for our dairy, for our meat, and then we finally eat the end products and the fruits, the nuts. It's just such an infection throughout our system. So, we're talking about cancer, we're talking about the immunosuppression here. I mean, no wonder we're sick, right?
Right. Can you explain how the food industries got so much control over what's in our food? I mean, this grass system is so fascinating to me, how we even ended up here in the first place.
Well, the government said, you got to mass produce food. We got to feed the world. And so then that developed big ag, and that developed these big corporations making foods that you might as well eat cardboard. You'd be better off. So how did we get there? We got there because, again, the people that were in charge, they don't have the right intention. They don't have, it seems like they do. They want to feed everybody. But if you're going to feed people toxic, carcinogenic substances, you're killing them. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it better to maybe grow things properly and handle our food properly and make sure that it's done properly? That's why the FDA was supposed to be there in the first place. It's supposed to protect our food supply. And, I make a joke, FDA, F wasn't really paid attention to. It was really the DA, drug agency.
Yeah.
Now we're actually going to have the FDA with the food in the first place. But I mean, it's affected generations. And that's what's so terrible, is because each generation has gotten weaker and weaker, to the point now. They just said today, I saw on TV about colon cancer and how it's affecting people that are in their 30s instead of in their 50s. And it started with a bacteria in the gut of a 4 or 5-year-old. That now makes them susceptible to having colon cancer at 20 years earlier than somebody normally would. So you can really see how these have affected our generational, people. It's not just now. It's been going on for many generations.
I know you're a big supporter of Bobby and his plan to ban harmful food ingredients and promote natural alternatives, how that really can be a game changer, especially for kids dealing with behavioral issues, families worried about cancer risks and the like. So give us a sense from your vantage point, what hope do these kind of reforms offer to our next generation in particular?
Well, we've been eating toxic soup, toxic substances for dinner, lunch, and breakfast. It's going to reduce the toxicity. So we're going to be in an upward trajectory rather than continuing the downward trajectory. And I think with the ability to have Secretary Kennedy talking in front of so many people, that it has now woken people up to go, I need to read labels. I need to start taking a little bit of time to really understand how my body works. I need to understand what this woman's talking about with aflatoxins, and how they're not raising our food right. They're not growing our food right. They're not storing our food right. And if everybody gets on boards and takes just a little bit of responsibility and speaks out, it's going to change very quickly. Yeah. But if we all just sit back like we've been doing, and I don't blame anybody for this, because we were supposed to be able to trust our government and trust these people that are making our foods. But now's the time to act. Now's the time to take back control of your own body. And this gives me a lot of hope that he's starting with a lot of different, petrochemicals. I thought it was funny last night. I can't remember what show he was on, but he said, we might as well have petroleum in a bottle and have everybody pouring it on their food. It's like a condiment, like salt and pepper, would be. We've been ingesting these things without knowing it. It's criminal. And these people should be prosecuted. They knew what they were doing.
Absolutely. I think it was on Jesse Waters last night. It may have been Jesse
you're right,
Waters.
You're right.
I saw it too, and I thought that was brilliant. I was like, oh, that is he is a master persuader. He's an excellent rhetorician. He knows how to create images in your mind to go, rightly so, because you could be the best doctor in the world, but if you can't persuade the patient that they're sick, all your study is for nothing. You have to be able to rhetorically communicate the dire nature the patient is in, and he does it brilliantly. And you just gave a great segue into my next question, because I love to always end with action items. So what can people actively do right now, those who are listening, to secure a healthy future for themselves and for their families? We want to be Maha as much as MAGA. So how can we be Maha right now?
Well, as I said earlier, the health starts in the gut, just like the health starts in the soil for the plant, the seed that goes in there. If it's missing a lot of nutrients, if the soil is sick, if it's ridden with toxins, if it's filled with toxins and parasites, that food that's grown in that is going to be awful. The same thing in our gut. Our microbiome in our gut is just like the soil for the seed. So if we are overpopulated with parasites, with bad bacteria, with yeasts and molds and funguses and all these aflatoxins, our gut health is very sick. And our gut houses, as I said, 70 to 80% of our immune system, and it touches every single cell in our body, every single organ. So if you have brain problems, it's connected to the gut. They talk to each other. You have skin problems, it's connected to the gut. So gut health is first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And there was a study done that talked about aflatoxin B1, the one that I talked about earlier, that is the most potent compound in that mutagenic, carcinogenic aflatoxin. Nothing has been able to touch this particular strain. People get it when they're in the hospital. They get it all the time, and they can't do much about it. Well, they found out that kimchi, the Korean food kimchi, destroys 81% of that aflatoxin B1 in 72 hours. Wow. 3 days. So this is so exciting because, I've known how important the gut is when I've been teaching everybody for almost 50 years now. I've always taught them about fermented foods. So what I always was encouraging people to do is make your own fermented foods. But what was so exciting when I taught them about kimchi is that it is the king of fermented foods. And because this study has come out, we have it in a capsule. so people can get it in their gut every day. They can get their children in their children's gut every day, because the taste and the flavor
Yeah.
is a little different for
Yeah.
Americans,
It
and
can
they
be a
have
little
a
too
hard time.
strong.
A
Yeah.
little too strong. So,
Yeah.
this is made in the USA. It's non-GMO, no sugars, no gluten, no preservatives, no additives. It's just the pure kimchi with the 900 strains and
Wow.
unique strains of probiotics that are going to go back in there. And so many people, Dr. Turley, have used antibiotics. And a lot of children that have so many problems have been on them for a long time. Anti means against.
Mm.
Life. Antibiotic is against life. Probiotic, which is in kimchi, is for life. So
Right.
when you take antibiotics, you are killing not only the bad guys, you're
But the
killing
good
all the
guys.
good guys. You must put the good guys back in. And when
Yeah.
you have that good gut health, you are going to thrive. You are going to see a difference in your energy, your concentration, your digestion is going to kick in again, because the war that's been going on in your gut is going to end, and the good guys are going to come in there and win, and the bad guys, their population is going to go down, and you are going to see an immense difference in your
You're going
health.
to and really
You're going
feel
to
it.
see and feel it. Yep.
We have a phone number that people can call you and your staff and talk about this. You want to tell us a little bit about what they can expect when they give you guys a call?
Sure. We prefer they call. They can go to mybrightcore.com/Turley and use the code Turley and get 25% off of anything they order. But we like them to call, because I'm an educator first. That's how I got started in this. I had to educate myself, and I had to educate other people how to take care of their health. So we like you to call in. The number is 888-597-0233. So we can talk with you and make sure this is what's right for you. But when you call in, I'm going to sweeten the deal and give you up to 50% off.
Ooh,
And give you
nice.
free shipping. So
Wow.
better to call in and talk to somebody. And that's 888-597-0233.
Wow. I mean, again, what I so love about Kim and Brightcore is that you can call them and actually talk to someone who knows what they're talking about and can help you get exactly what you need to feel better and live better, as well as just fellowship with MAGA and MAHA, common MAGA and MAHA sentiments. So, gang,
Yes.
I want you to give them a call. This is your moment. Again, we're not going to make America great again until we recover our health. The number is at the bottom of the screen. But gang, talk to them, see how their amazing product can help you and your family. You heard Kim. You can also click the link below. You got this wonderful discount, and it's just time to get charge of your health, and let's just become vibrant again so we can make America great again. And Kim, you're doing it. It's so awesome. I love what you're doing. And just let's have you back real soon, because obviously I think Bobby Kennedy's just getting started.
He's just getting started. And God bless him, and God bless President Trump, and God
Amen.
bless you, Dr. Steve.
Right back at you, Kim. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.